baby, and we're back, everybody. Welcome back to Words with Wayman. I am your host, as always, Matt Wayman. Support us online, Words with Wayman on Twitter, Words with Wayman on Facebook. Guys, we're going to jump right in. Spicy, sweet, special, hot, delicious, elegant, part 2. Chicago boys, everybody. Jason Melton, David Phillips, thank you guys for coming back out.
Yeah, thanks for having us, dude. This is fun.
Yeah, just hanging out in this weird apartment, staring at a weird zebra head.
Yeah, they got a zebra head.
They got a zebra head. Those are
Pit them against each other.
Zebra head's big in Chicago these days? Is it a zebra head culture again? Or
am I wrong in that people know that listen to your podcast, there is a legitimate zebra head?
Yeah, it comes up a lot because, I mean, I'm not going to ignore I don't edit this thing or anything, so
That's fair.
It just goes up as it is.
Do they know that the zebra head has a slightly come-hither look to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It looks like it's wearing mascara.
I tell you what, it did until we got those eyes shined up, and once we got the eyes polished, dude, it was just like,
that
Daddy
zebra
wants
has
it.
had a glass of wine, and it just got out of a relationship.
Shitty wine, decent relationship. You know what I mean? Just like all of us these days.
If I played my cards right, I could like take a bath with that zebra.
I think you're nailing it right now. It was cured in arsenic, so that bath may have some bad things related back on your health afterwards, but
Nice.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it'd still be fun. How many times you get to take a bath with zebra in your life?
Man, I don't get to take too many baths by myself too often.
Come on. Chicago, small bath city these days.
No, well, it's just
More of a
there's
shower
a
base.
lot of walk-in showers.
There's the textural reality of having gross male roommates,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
like you can't prove that they did something in that tub, but you could feel it.
That's
Yeah.
a double-edged sword, too, because I've had female roommates that were just as dirty, if not dirtier,
what?
than
Here's the
said
thing.
male roommates.
Interesting.
Guys are often, I think guys often take the brunt of being bathroom gross. Like
Yeah.
bathrooms are gross.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I lived with a girl in college, and you know what? Finding a men's toupee around the drain
Thank
every
you.
day
Thank you.
is it's. Well, I got into it because I was like started collecting. I put it up on the top of the shower stall. Like I just wanted to see how big the pile would get before. she
Passive
noticed.
aggressive
Oh, totally.
in college.
But it was also
That's
like
super passive
wait.
aggressive.
But it was also like a project I got to take.
You're stacking up youth's hair. You're stacking up Blue's hair.
We never talked about this before. We've been on the road for this long amount of time. We never talked about the stacked up hair.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, we took showers 2 days ago on the road.
And you said nothing about it.
No, I took the TP.
Yeah.
And I cleaned out the drain and I threw it in the toilet.
Like
I
a
don't know.
gentleman. You've been on the road a bunch about it.
Yeah.
You get it?
I'm a little hairier than David.
You're extremely hairy in a
You
cool way.
Google him and you Google me, it's obvious.
Googling
Yeah.
people. Let them, yeah.
Yeah.
Your
so,
Google pictures are really weird.
took
You're
my
just a
shower
Sasquatch and he's just a hairless man
That's right.
on the Google.
Yeah. I actually look exactly like David if I shave my whole body.
I like looking at you. Like, I bet we have very similar shaped heads.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, because I see both of your heads right now, so I know you're not talking about your actual heads, which is why I know this is getting really intimate in a good way. That's what this podcast is about. We're talking about creativity, and we're also talking about our weird dicks. You know?
Can I tell you, I had what you just said, I had an experience where I saw my friend's dick. It was a good friend of mine at the time.
Nice.
And
It all
and he's
happens
like-
at a
and
4th of July
yeah.
party somewhere.
Dude, it was a drunken night. A party,
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, check this out. And he turned around.
It's
his dick
always
was out.
that.
And he's like, what do you think?
What is that
dude, this is
mindset
what I
of the
thought.
dude that wants to show dicks? It's always that one guy.
I can't tell you. At this moment. We're drunk.
Yeah.
But I see the dick. He's kind of implying, huh?
Cool. Oh.
I'm like, it looks just like mine. It looked identical. I don't know
Doppel
how to
dick?
describe it. Yeah. We were
Yeah.
twin dicks.
He had a doppeldonger?
Yeah, that's right. I was like, are we brothers?
How has this not been in your set for a while? Doppeldonger is fantastic. Doppeldick. I mean, that's just a bunch of tags you could have on this thing.
You ever like have
As
that
a Chicago
moment-
comedian, you guys are joke heavy.
You ever have that moment where you like your brain thinks something and you don't want to say it, but it's like if you don't, you'll never get the chance again.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
my moment right now would be photo cockpit.
We're gonna shut this podcast down. There's no way this podcast is gonna get better. We're gonna shut it down, cancel it out. Words with Wayman, clock it out. The dog came over right at that point. He respected that joke.
I hate to say this, but you seem like a very smart. Like we just met today, but like, and you seem like an intelligent guy. But your dog loves dick jokes. It's just your dog. Your dog has a really lowbrow sense of humor.
I don't know if I train him like that. I thought he sees me writing all the time. I feel like he'd have a little bit of goddamn
This
respect.
dog would love nothing better than put on an Adam Sandler movie from the last 5 years right now.
He's like,
He just wants to get stoned and giggle. This dog.
he puts off that aura. That's what the only thing I respect about him. So Chicago these days, this is. I feel like I feel like we should talk some business on this thing.
Sorry, yeah.
We're just some wacky boys getting wacky on a weird night after a show, in between getting ready for a midnight show.
We're doing a midnight show.
Yeah, we're doing a midnight show here in a little bit.
Dude, it's so cool to be in Denver. I really like.
I'm glad to have you guys
Super
out
grateful
here.
to be here, yeah.
No, I feel like Denver's a cool scene where like everybody's like I just got one email from a dude this guy named Jeff Albright, really cool dude up
Yeah.
here. And he was like, I got some cool guys coming in from Chicago. He actually just told me you were coming in, and I was like, I got a spot for him. And then you hit me up
very
today,
weird because
and it
I
was like, we got another guy coming in. I was like, we'll put him up too.
Well, when I talked to Jeff, I definitely mentioned David.
He
so-
smokes drugs like we all do up here. You can't, it's like-
We had
I'd
an interaction
like
the other
to-
day where he was like, I haven't been drinking lately. Just not even drinking milk.
Yeah.
Have a little coffee. I was like, you got to have some drugs. He's like, yeah, legal.
He
weed.
smokes a vape pen all day. That dude's a vape head as they come in a cool way.
That guy's great, man. We did a show in South Bend, Indiana.
Where comedy really is alive these days.
They have a little comedy club out there.
Dude, they got a cool little scene from what Jeff's told me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Do you guys try to do this whenever you go to like a city for the first time? You try to find out why that city exists.
No, but that's
I love doing that.
cool.
Like, why is this city that city? South Bend, Indiana. Like, I went there. The drop there. It's a great spot.
Isn't it just exist because of Notre Dame?
Well, Notre Dame, and then like the Studebaker Wagon Company.
Hot company. Still, I'm surprised they went under. Very poor corporate management. The ethics weren't there. If the ethics were there, that company would still be there.
right,
Cars
man.
plus wood. Yes, please. Still a
If it
good
wasn't
business
for
model.
The
Just-
blood that resulted.
If
I'm
it
still
wasn't-
upset about it. I am still upset about it.
If it wasn't for wagons and broad-shouldered Catholics, that'd just be another blip on the radar.
They hedged their bets too early, boys.
You're
They
right,
hedged
because it's
them.
definitely not a blip on the radar.
It is not.
Also, it should be noted, it goes without saying, that is where the river takes a fairly startling bend. to the
Terrific
south.
turn, huh?
Yeah.
South Bend,
Just
everybody.
commenting on our creative process.
Guys, speaking of creative process, how do you gentlemen write? Do you guys sit down to write and you're like jokes coming out for an hour, or do you just wait for the inspiration to come?
That's like,
Yeah.
it's always surprising. It's like, this is like a thing I've thought before. I don't know if I can articulate it very well, but like I feel like everybody has like a spectrum of things they find funny,
Yeah.
and not all of those things come from the same process. Like I like telling like I think jokes with like words that are interesting and like are fun to tell, and like especially like the craftsmanship of it. But that comes from kind of like studying and writing and like visualizing it and like saying it out loud and chiseling it down. But there's also stuff that I find really funny that just like occurs to you in an instant and never requires like that craftsmanship to it.
Definitely.
That is interesting.
But they make me laugh in different ways, you know.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think that there is some things that do come from the instant that do
like-
change and couldn't last or wouldn't be funny if it wasn't for that.
Dude, I was always noticed like that crowds when doing stand up, a lot of people mistakenly think that you're just making it up on the spot.
Absolutely,
Right?
100%.
So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you could like, and I don't, but but it would be cool if like you could completely improvise
Yeah.
sets and riff and stuff. Isn't that kind of?
I feel like you look at people that kind of like Roy Scovel. I think is a
Yeah,
decent
that's a
example of that.
perfect
John
example,
Doerr,
Yeah.
Sam Talent. I don't know if you got you've been on the road with
I've been
Sam
on the road with
Talent,
Sam, yeah.
but the people that honestly think I think it's 90% written.
Yeah.
But it comes off as improv, which is the goal. I feel like that
Yeah.
you're kind of talking about maybe the way that
yeah.
I feel like we're on the same level as where I kind of think stand-up is going a little bit away like that, where it's like,
Right.
because you're like, I'm never going to see the show again, which is
Yeah.
why you're really drawn to it in a way.
And maybe you riffed it at some point, but it was funny then, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
funny again. So it's still.
But if
kind
you're
of-
writing towards your voice, then it is kind of, it seems like a riff, I think, more so
Yeah.
than it comes off.
Yeah, but I actually do put like I type a lot of my jokes.
Nice.
I'll generally conceive them. I'll try them at open mics and they won't work.
Definitely,
It'll be
because they
very
never do.
bad and unformulated.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go sit down after I've tried it a couple times and try and write out a version of it.
That's a weird thing we have up here. Like,
Yeah.
there's sometimes I go out to mics. I'm like, there's like people out at these mics that like want to listen to jokes, and I'm like, this sucks because it's like.
Oh.
I want to be able to do all those jokes that just cannot do that. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not finished at all. They're not even started. But it's like there's like a crowd here, so it's like you feel like you got to do sets all the time as opposed to just
we're lucky
doing the dog shit.
To never have a real audience at any open.
That's the weirdest part about Denver. That's what I came from New Orleans as, because they'd be like, here, go up for 20 minutes, and there's 5 people there.
Yeah.
And then like nobody give a shit, but you do 20 minutes because you could work all the stuff out, and then you come to Denver. It's like there's good crowds, pretty much a lot of spots.
Yeah.
That was astonishing me. First going on the road was like occasionally hit an open mic, and then they have a real audience,
like almost like a showcase open mic.
Yeah,
as I call them, or like a showcase mic.
Yeah. Usually they're the club mic.
Yeah.
Whatever's in the town.
Or some city, just like a cool bar that like. Have you guys ever been to Star Bar in Atlanta?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Dude,
Tom and,
Rodney. Rodney's like the dude that runs it, but it's like so it's like a mic technically and stuff, but it's like the dopest show you'll do in the South.
I still think too, like the distinction between like a showcase show and a mic. A mic has a much looser, more raw, kind of organic, like energy to it. Mm-hmm. I think crowds that sometimes know it's an open mic, like. Obviously, there's some people that do more like they'll do their straight up like showcase set there because they don't want to like look bad in front of people. Mm-hmm. But like I think the people that come to regular open mics in Chicago that aren't comics, I think they like the kind of like reckless nature of it.
Yeah,
where it's not gonna be super like clipped and super like manicured. It's gonna be. You'll see the best and you'll see like the worst, but like
that's what St. Louis is from the top down too.
I think people
and probably on a lower level a little bit now than what you guys are doing for sure.
Yeah,
I think for sure. I think for sure.
Yeah.
People
so it's got all flavors, but
people who don't necessarily do like comedy or like some artistic art form, they love watching people try to do it.
Definitely, and I hear it's a super fun town. That was the only thing that like I've been from St. Louis. I've never been able to make it through Chicago, but all the Denver comics, all the New Orleans comics I talk to say they have such a good time in Chicago. Yeah, so the comics are so fun, and also the scene is really great.
Oh yeah, it is. It's massive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's so many mics. Like
the tiers of open mics are fascinating because there are those open mics where like. This is the mic where you prove it to yourself. So
it's 2, 3, 4 open mics a night though, if you want.
Yeah, and
nice.
I run 2 open mics.
Hell yeah,
yeah,
cool. But that's what I'm thinking. Like L.A., it's like I talk to people out in L.A. that I know that have moved out to L.A. It's like they get up 4 times a month, 2 showcases, 2 mics. Once a week, something like that.
Yeah.
So I wonder for towns because like Denver's like I can get up once, maybe twice a night if I try.
I was talking to a rampant open micer in Chicago one time, and he told me he did 10 to 12 open mics a week.
Yeah.
Only Sunday through Wednesday.
Crazy. That's awesome. I would love to hit 3 a night. And I can do Wednesdays here. I can hit 3 a night.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do too. I was
tight
like
material.
I was like a divorced dad with like custody. It's like Sunday through Wednesday, I got my open mics and they're the light of my life.
But it's cool to be able to take 5 minutes or like 4 minutes of stuff that's like I'm gonna boil it down to a minute or 45 seconds of jokes, but I can really work through it.
It's such like peaks and valleys. It's like honestly the open mics that like. They're the charge that kind of keep you going as like,
I think
an
so,
artist,
absolutely.
like, discovering something because when you're going through those hard times and you got nothing and it's not fun. Mm-mm. It's not like designed to be fun.
No.
But that moment where something starts clicking and you start to figure it out and you go, that's what I should do with this.
Definitely.
And it's again like the just outpouring of like this. Your brain has all these ideas.
Finally figures
you
it
can't
out.
Wait
Yeah,
to go
the
out
good
again.
time.
That's the most exciting time, and it's only designed to be like that, like maybe like 10% of the time.
Oh, absolutely.
But
when
it's
you're
worth
just really
it
nailing
to
it.
like be miserable, even though
it is like heroin. It's just chasing.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
a
just
drug,
like right
man.
that whole time so you get it, but it is ups and downs. But I also feel like it's one of those things like either you have to do it or you don't. It's like there's like the people that like stop doing it, and you're like, why?
What do you?
It's like they didn't have to do it.
Do you have people come up to you here, like at like your shows or at mics or whatever, and say like, "I've always wanted to do it."
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that's like pretty common. Like and like
you
I always tell them,
can
like
do it if
go
you
to an
want.
open mic night,
Yeah.
and try it, and
know right away.
You'll know right away.
The
'Cause
first
it'll
10 seconds, yeah.
You'll either, and usually you'll do bad.
Yeah.
I would hope so. It's the people that
Yeah.
crush they end up quitting really quick if you crush the first time.
Yeah.
Sam
People who crush
Talent's
the
the
first
thing.
time they're in for a hard road.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
I know
But
a
if-
lot
even
of,
if
I
you
know a
fe-
lot of good comics who say they crushed the first time because, and this I like this.
Because they were so
They
drunk.
said they always wanted to do it, so they spent 20-some years of their life writing their first set.
Yeah.
Their second set they bombed. Like they had nothing.
Their
left.
second through 75
Yeah,
sets they
yeah.
bombed.
Their first set they crushed. They've
set
been waiting
number
for that
set number
moment.
2 is there should be a documentary about the second sets of
That would be cool to watch like 100 people's second set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's
just
so true.
yeah.
Like it's across the board. Like either it gets your hooks in you or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I remember like when I first started, like that open mic process where like I'm bad and I know I can do so much
Yeah.
better. And I'm not, and people aren't laughing the way I want them to. And I'm not having fun.
No,
like,
you
coming
shouldn't
here
be.
and failing in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And like you feel it so personal, but like I'm not gonna stop either.
I want to be funnier is the drive.
I know what level I'm like, cause you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, if
There's
you're, I think you
crushers.
know if you have like, if you're a genuinely funny person, like you know you have that talent.
Yeah, MC, feature, headliner. You know
Yeah.
where you're at.
It's
You
like so
should.
pathological. It really is. Like you can't help yourself.
Of course.
But
But we're all that way too, of thinking that direction of, where are we going?
It's cool, man, to like give yourself up to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've definitely been super lucky that it caught onto me. I feel like,
Yeah, dude. I feel like it gave me a lot of purpose in life. I didn't really have anything else going. I was playing in bands and stuff. It was all failing.
We'd all still be playing drums, man. I was a drummer. I feel like all of us, dude. Yeah, dude, I was a
Nice,
drummer.
man.
I played in a white boy hip hop band for a while and shit. It was like we all go through these things. And it's like, but it was like I like single person sports. It's like you finally figure out what
Yeah.
it's about at some point. You know what I mean? It's about you being able to yell at people for a while and then being like,
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Everyone's gonna listen to me.
Yeah, or they're not.
For 1 second.
If nothing else. Gentlemen, I want to thank you guys so much for coming out. That's how fast these things go. They power through Chicago. That's what it is. I call that a Chicago 10. That's what I call that.
But here's the thing
About
people don't
15.
realize. We actually recorded for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
and you just like compress it 2-3 times as
That's
fast.
right.
We talk real slow.
This guy
I
says he's
know.
gonna edit it. Remember?
I don't.
Back to the first time.
If I told him the day I learn how to edit, I will edit this podcast. But for now, it is one of those things.
Yeah.
Before we do shut this puppy down, give some plugs, guys. Give some Chicago
Yeah.
plugs.
Once again, Yeah Buddy Awesome Time.
Hell yeah.
Cocaine Murder Jam. Just Google the titles. Yeah Buddy
Sounds so
Awesome
fun.
Time. Cocaine Murder Jam.
Hell yeah. I'm into that.
I don't know. Come to my open mic on Sundays. Hang out. Be weird on a Sunday night.
Yeah, getting weird on a
At
Sunday.
I feel like this mic sometimes, it's like for people who get like, who's out on at 1 a.m. on a Sunday.
But who should be,
Yeah.
Let's do this.
It's
You're
like
not
if you want
working
to,
hard enough as a stand-up.
Come
to the mic.
on.
if you've ever wanted to feel like a private eye who was down on his luck,
Yeah.
come eat free popcorn and develop some premises at this open mic at North Bar.
Yeah, investigate
10:30
comedy, baby. If we're
Yeah,
talking
sure.
about being a
Starts at
PI.
10:30 every Sunday. It's great.
Maybe we can get you back to Joe Fernandez's basement after.
Joe Fernandez, who's a very
Shout
friendly
out.
guy, will let you sleep in his basement. He's a
Hell
couple blocks
yeah.
away.
I'm
Yeah,
into
we're a
that,
few
y'all.
blocks away.
Guys, thank you so much again for doing this weird little thing in my weird apartment by a zebra and my lovely fiance. She look over?
She looked over.
Did she?
She once again made a. I don't know why
She
you're
made like
looking
an.
over at me
oh,
face.
well, she always says she doesn't listen, so I'm still trying to prove that. I'll get her one of these days, everybody. Guys, thank you all so much for listening out there. Support us on Twitter at Words with Wayman, Facebook Words with Wayman. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you all soon.